you know, I have this illness, but what caused it? You know, what brought this illness about? Some people will say the illness was brought about because your relationship with God has gone askew, you know, has gone wrong. And therefore, you know, satanic forces can come in and bring disease and illness. For those who think in scientific terms, will say, oh, that's rubbish. You know, the body is a physical thing. The body is a physical thing. Any physical thing can be attacked by causative organisms. Yeah? A cancer causing organism, a TB causing organism. So it's germs that are creating the illness rather than any spiritual dimension. But when you're working with a community who has spirituality, then it's important to recognize that spiritual dimension is going to be important when you talk about health promotion within any community. Yeah? Okay. Health refers to unity and harmony of body, mind, and spirit. This harmony should allow more self-knowledge, self-control, self-healing, regardless of the health condition. Some people will say, if I have an illness, if I pray about it, that illness can be cured. Some people will say, well, if I go to the doctor and I get medication, then that illness can be cured. Others will say, well, I know the things that can contribute to my illness. Now, what I want you to do is think about, for yourself as an individual, what sort of things have you ever thought to yourself, if I do this, I know how it affects me, so I don't do it. Is there anything within your own life that you know you do not do because you know it makes you ill?
Yeah, like there are times when I took anything that was sweet, I got fever.
Right.
Just for no reason. Yeah, anything that was sweet. Okay. But with time, it has changed.
All right, so you don't get that anymore?
Yeah.
Okay. So is that when you were young? Or you were a child?
No, I was already an adult. Okay. It just occurred that like now the bitter leaf, what they call it at home dole, I don't eat it because when I eat it, I have a stomach disorder.
Okay.
Yeah. So those are things which I think they are in my mind.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
Like now, I feel that when I stay up too long in the night, the next day I have headache. So I always think that I should not stay up above 12 midnight.
Okay.
Yes.
Otherwise you'll get a headache.
Yes, the next day.
Okay. So probably because you get too tired. Do you think? Or do you think? Okay. You don't know why you tend to get headaches.
Yes.
Right.
Then also, if you hurt somebody, it makes you sick. Because if I hurt you, and the moment I realize that you are not talking to me, because maybe I lied against you, it makes me sick. Because once I see you, I will not feel fine.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's a psychological dimension. That's your response to that situation.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
right. So I know you're not going to be lying against me. Okay. All right. What about you?
Me, whenever I'm in like this weather, and when I'm in a cold environment, I always have coughs and running nose.
Okay.
Yes.
With the cold.
Yes.
That's why she still got to take out. She doesn't want to take any chances.
If I just leave my body out for 2 seconds, as I'm coming, I'm coughing, my nose will start running.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So obviously very sensitive to the cold.
Yes, I'm very sensitive.
Yes, I mean different people, and that's why it's important for self-knowledge. You know, knowing yourself, knowing what your body can do, what it can take, what it will allow, is very important. And that's why what you said earlier on about education. Education is not just about knowing that this medicine is good, this is bad. Education is also knowing your own body, knowing your own self, knowing your own spirituality, knowing your own psychological state, so you know that you can't lie on anybody, because you know you're going to, hurt yourself, yes? And you know you're not going to stay up all night. Not like me. My body can take it. Like I said, I went to bed at 4:30 this morning. I suppose if that was you, you have a
I will not
headache.
even be here today. Because as of this moment, I would really be sick.
Precisely. So now you know yourself. So part of health promotion, when we talk about health promotion and health education, is enabling people to know themselves. And part of that knowledge that we're giving them is not just book knowledge, but knowledge to know yourself. So for example, when we talk to our sicklers, we say to them, the most important thing about your sickle cell disease is self-knowledge. Because you'll get 2 children. One of them can go swimming, not a problem. Another child, if that child dares go swimming, by the next day that child will be in hospital. Yeah? Now, between those 2 children, both of them need to know how their disease affects them. So how does my disease affect me as an individual? Am I a child that can go swimming, or am I a child that can't go swimming? So when we're doing health promotion and health education with our families, those are some of the areas we help them to explore. The self-awareness, the self-knowledge, and then the self-control. So just because you love swimming means you're going to have to control yourself not to go swimming. If you know that every time you go swimming you have a crisis, isn't it? So the self-knowledge, the self-control will help with the self-healing. Yeah? So that means by controlling what you do, you maintain and prevent illness from occurring. Yeah? And that's regardless of the health condition, in any health condition that you have. if you're a diabetic, yes, if you don't have self-knowledge of what the scale of sugar you can take, how much insulin you need, the doctors can be prescribing, but they'll have to maintain it at the level. You're the only one that will be able to know how that medication is working for you. Yeah, because they're going by, okay, 1,000 people, we give them this, it works this way for that. But you as an individual, it may not work that way for you. And that's why we teach people with chronic illness that they must become much more self-knowledgeable, more self-aware. And that's the biggest challenge we have in health promotion, is enabling people as individuals, as a community, as a society, to become self-aware. This was a study that was done by a researcher called Dr. Wang. And she looked at it and said the status of health second-generation migrants is often worse than that of their first-generation parents. In an attempt to gain acceptance and be seen as non-foreign by their peers, many British-born children and grandchildren of migrants discard many of their parents' cultural values and practices and adopt Western ones. Sadly, their health behavior and health practices suggest that they tend to discard good practices, and then they take on board the things that are not so good. So a good example of that Wang gave was, for example, some of the ways the foods we eat. Now you'll find a lot of African foods are very healthy food. Yeah, what sort of things do you eat in Cameroon in terms of general diet?
Cassava, a lot of vegetables, plantains, yams.